Things change. Some you see, some you don't. Give space. In time, it will all entwine. There really is no final goal, no glorious parade. The grace has no end. Allow yourself to descend into this playful, peaceful pool and just float. Whether you feel it or not, fight it or surrender, things change. A princess has died. Although she was always a reluctant princess, never quite happy with the mantle of being good. At a workshop last year, we had a big closing circle where everyone had to say something to the group. It was all very deep. When it was Marta's turn, she said, "I would fuck you all. Every single one of you." And then she pulled down her trousers and mooned the teachers. You're really getting it. If there's a crack in everything where the light gets in, it was probably Marta who cracked it. Always slightly subversive, always looking for the perfect moment to say boo, or cackle, or fill fest, va? The most naturally funny person I've ever met, with an insatiable thirst for, well, whatever she really felt like. She trusted me more than I do myself. "I'll do whatever you think," she would say. A blank check from her love bank. Rules did not apply to Marta, or maybe rules just didn't work on her. She lived her own sweet life in her own stubborn way, from moment to moment and with all of her heart. At work, I would watch in awe as she would quietly and carefully cause utter chaos and get away with it. She would shift from full-on party mode to quiet, empathic whisper with a delicacy and grace that was magical. She had an endless stream of weird little improvised moments for every situation. She said yes to everything. Working with her made everyone else twice as good. Just as long as you didn't expect her to reflect too much on what had happened and didn't ask her to explain what she thought was going on. Then things could get a bit tricky. Her gifts were intuitive, not verbal. I wandered lost and lonely once. My days were long, my inspiration lost. I needed a shock to wake me up, to drive me on, to fill my cup. So I asked the princess if she was free to take a chance to come and join me. She wandered in and looked around. She sniffed and sang a soulful sound. She tasted the air and felt the walls. She watched the people walk the halls. "I like it here," she said and winked. Then all my woes sprung leaks and sinked. The joy, it never seems to stop when the princess starts to hop. Her gentle touch has magic power. It turns all pains to pretty flowers. It transforms worries into smiles and leaves trails of joy for miles and miles. I'd worked alone for 8 years before Marta came along. It could not have been an easy thing stepping into what was then my domain. She made it look so beautifully simple. She was so very easy to make space for, so gracious. She must have thanked me about 1,000 times for introducing her to hospital. Together we climbed through windows, opened any door, spread light in the darkest corners, found fun where there was only sadness, and held each other as our hearts broke from loss. She never backed away from the pain, never gave in to the hopelessness, and no matter how important what I thought what I was doing was, she would always find a way to interrupt me, collapse my self-importance, and show me that the next little thing was always the most important. Not that she was happy all the time. She was also one of the angriest people I knew. Intolerant, frustrated, irritated. But it was always a cloud that passed by. The sun always found its way back through eventually. Perhaps it's a Spanish thing. She came in through the window. She came in through the window and left through the roof. Touched all of our lives, this pain is the proof. A sly, crooked smile, a thunderous laugh. If your soul felt dirty, she would offer you a bath. Manila. The only time I ever heard any complaint about her was shortly after her and Mikhail started working together without me. A nurse approached me and said, "They are just wonderful. It's just they seem to be enjoying each other a little bit too much." I didn't feel this was a very serious problem. Marta came to visit me a couple of months ago. I was burnt out, tired, and stuck to the sofa. She sat down, we talked for a few minutes, and then she just sat there for 3 hours, drinking tea and saying nearly nothing. Then she got up, gave me a hug, said thanks for the conversation, and skipped out the door. I felt much better. This heavy blanket, damp from tears, draped on sagging shoulders. The lonely search for hope, for meaning, for redemption. But then there was the hug that felt like it went under my skin. The kiss that was so soft and intimate it recharged me. The oh so perfectly named dog. The sunshine, the smile, the song strummed strongly by a quiet, towering sun. The beautiful wooden dagger lovingly carved by small, sure hands. Her gifts have been passed on. The unavoidable wave of joy at the memory of such an amazing Amazonian woman, such a true friend, such a glorious soul. Shine on, Marta, blind us with your light. Lead us through these dark days and into the unknown night. 2 weeks ago, I went to visit her. She was very weak and she was in a lot of pain. She told me now that she was curious to find out what happened when you died. I told her this story. I had a kind of coping strategy for dealing with the deaths of so many children in the ward where we worked. I would imagine that there was somewhere up there a huge tea party where all the kids we had known would be sitting and laughing, pain-free and together, eating cupcakes and cucumber sandwiches with the crusts cut off. And now, when Marta got there, she could be their clown. So when she died, she would be going straight back to work. As soon as I said this, I felt bad. Sorry, I said, that was a stupid thing to say. No, she smiled. That was very nice. I choose to believe that at the moment she died, her soul scattered into thousands of tiny, beautiful pieces, and each piece floated back down to earth and snuggled in next to the heart of everyone she had ever made smile or laugh. I hope that every single one of us will nurture that gift that was Marta and continue to spread the crazy laugh and joyful anarchic humour to everyone we meet. We know that words are very little comfort in this sorrow, so keep hugging each other, holding hands, looking into each other's eyes, and in that connection find the Marta in us all. And finally, the words I really don't want to say. Goodbye, Marta. I love you and I'll always miss you.